Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, share your insights in the comments, and subscribe to keep up with our newest tales. Storms have always captivated me. Their drama, their raw power, the way they disrupt the ordinary and breathe new life into the world. Yet, the events that unfolded during that specific storm altered the course of everything, and it was unrelated to the roar of thunder or the flash of lightning. It revolved around a theme that was profoundly distinct, deeply human, surprising, and filled with exquisite emotion. Diane is my name, and at 47 years of age, I have called the charming suburban town of Willow Creek my home for the past decade. The pace of life here unfolds gently, a rhythm that I often find soothing. Yet recently, a sense of restlessness had begun to creep in, as if an elusive peace was absent, something just beyond my grasp. On that Friday night, solitude enveloped me as I sat in my living room, engrossed in a rerun of a classic black-and-white film. Without warning, the lights began to flicker, and then in an instant, darkness descended completely. Excellent, I mused, as I searched for candles with a sense of urgency, exactly what I was looking for. As I peered through the window, I observed the wind gaining strength, causing the trees to sway dramatically under the brooding sky, with a few candles flickering softly around me. I enveloped myself in an old quilt bestowed by my mother long ago and nestled onto the couch, prepared to endure the tempest outside. The rain began to pummel the roof, each droplet striking with a persistent cadence, reminiscent of a rhythmic symphony. Amidst the relentless drumming of the rain, a sudden forceful banging echoed at my front door. My heart fluttered unexpectedly. Who would venture out with a flashlight in hand? With a sense of trepidation, I approached the front door and carefully glanced through the window. There he was, Mark, my neighbor from 2 doors down, standing on my porch, completely drenched. Mark had settled in a few months back, a reserved yet amiable gentleman in his early 50s who tended to maintain his solitude. We had shared readings and engaged in light banter, yet a genuine conversation between us had never taken place. I swung the door open with haste, taken aback by the sight of him, utterly drenched. His dark hair adhered to his forehead while his shirt clung snugly to his chest. He appeared to be in a state of embarrassment, his cheeks tinged with a rosy hue, even amidst the soft glow of the candlelight. "Diane, I truly apologize for intruding," he murmured, his voice barely audible, over the fierce gusts of wind. However, a tree has just toppled across my driveway, completely obstructing the road. My power has gone out as well, and my phone battery is completely drained. I found myself at a loss for direction. I acted without a moment's pause. "Step inside, Mark. You'll surely freeze to the bone if you linger out there any longer." As he crossed the threshold, I promptly offered him a plush towel, its fabric inviting and warm. He dried himself with an air of discomfort, offering yet another apology. Though I hesitated to impose, I felt compelled to absurdity. I offered him comfort. With a gentle touch, we reside in close proximity to one another. In times of tempest, if we cannot extend our hands to one another, what purpose do we serve? At my words, Mark's shoulders visibly eased, and I led him into the living room. In the flickering glow of the candlelight, his features took on a gentler form. I had never observed the vividness of his blue eyes, nor the way the lines at the corners suggested a wealth of untold tales. He reclined on the couch, a faint tremor coursing through him. "You'd think at my age I'd be better prepared," he quipped softly, his hands rubbing together in a gesture of contemplation. I offered a soft smile. "Storms have a way of surprising us," I responded, reflecting not just on the tempest outside, but also on the tumult within me that has stirred in recent days. I presented him with a steaming cup of tea, a small triumph I had achieved just before the lights flickered and darkness enveloped us. He grasped it with gratitude, the warmth restoring a flush to his cheeks. As the wind howled outside, our conversation began to unfold, first touching upon the tempest raging beyond the walls, and then meandering into the depths of our own lives. Mark had recently settled in Willow Creek, seeking a new beginning after the profound loss of his wife 5 years prior. His candidness took me aback. He spoke with a gentle reverence for his late wife, paying homage to her memory with a soft respect, yet an undercurrent of solitude echoed profoundly within me. In exchange, I revealed that I had been divorced for 7 years, following a marriage that gradually transformed into a bond of friendship rather than one of love. We drifted away from each other, I confess quietly, my gaze fixed on the swirling depths of my tea. Isn't it amusing how loneliness can quietly creep in when you least expect it? Mark nodded with a contemplative air, his gaze warm and empathetic. He concurred, noting that it is the silence that proves to be the most challenging, particularly on evenings such as this. A serene hush enveloped us, punctuated by the soothing cadence of raindrops and the soft glow of flickering candles. A sensation stirred within me, a warmth that had long eluded my grasp. Still, I tread carefully, wary of misinterpreting this unexpected closeness that appeared to flow effortlessly between us. At last, Mark shattered the stillness, his voice barely, above a whisper, tinged with uncertainty. "Diane, I appreciate you welcoming me in this evening. You were not obliged to do so." In a moment of spontaneity, I found myself reaching out, my hand resting softly on his arm. I felt a surge of relief as I confessed, "I'm glad you knocked." In truth, storms such as these evoke a profound sense of solitude that often envelopes me. Sharing it with someone brings a certain warmth. Mark's hand rested lightly over mine, the warmth of his touch igniting a soft electric pulse within me. Likewise, he murmured, his gaze meeting mine, with genuine emotion illuminating each syllable. In recent nights, solitude has been my companion, and it's curious how natural it feels to engage in this conversation with you. My heart fluttered gently, taken aback and touched by the unforeseen richness of our bond. Outside, thunder rumbled with a fierce resonance, breaking the stillness and amplifying the gravity of the moment. There was an undeniable pull toward Mark, a sensation I hadn't experienced with anyone in ages. As the wind howled with increasing ferocity and lightning cast fleeting illuminations upon the shadows that danced in the room, we found ourselves acutely aware of the fragility and unpredictability of this moment. A warm flush spread across my cheeks, enveloping me in an unexpected shyness. Mark cleared his throat softly, attuned to my uncertainty. "Diane," he murmured gently, shattering the stillness that enveloped us. I wish to avoid complicating either of our lives, yet I find myself eager to learn more about you. Perhaps we could explore the possibilities of where this might lead, if that aligns with your desires as well. His sincerity moved me profoundly, evoking tears that I swiftly brushed aside. "I would appreciate that, Mark," I murmured with sincerity. "We shall wait and observe our emotions once the tempest has subsided." His smile was warm, with a glimmer of understanding in his eyes. "Indeed, I concur. Take your time, free from anticipation." Throughout the tempestuous night, we remained side by side, sharing tales and gently nurturing a bond that was both fresh and reassuringly known. A flicker of hope and possibility ignited within me, a sensation I had almost lost touch with. As dawn drew near, the tempest waned, both in the world beyond and within the heart. Yet the true surprise of the night, the one that astonished me most, wasn't the howling storm or the toppled trees, but the unforeseen warmth I found in Mark. Little did I realize the profound transformation that awaited us, yet one truth stood clear in my mind. The tempest had ushered in an unforeseen element into my existence, and retreat was no longer an option. The morning unfolded softly, as delicate rays of sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting intricate patterns upon the wooden floor. Outside, branches are strewn across yards, leaves carpeting the streets, remnants of the tempestuous weather that swept through last night. Yet within the confines of my dwelling, the echoes of the tempest narrated an alternate tale, one woven with threads of fragility, comfort, and unforeseen camaraderie. Mark departed soon after dawn to evaluate the destruction at his home, yet the echo of his presence remained in my mind long after the door clicked shut behind him. The way his eyes locked onto mine as he spoke, the genuine softness in his voice, these subtle nuances echoed endlessly in my thoughts, bringing a private smile to my lips as I sipped my morning coffee. That afternoon, while I collected the fallen branches scattered across the yard, I caught sight of Mark making his way back, moving deliberately along the street. His footsteps faltered for a moment at the edge of my property, then resumed with a steady assurance as he approached me. "Greetings once more," he said, a warm smile gracing his lips. "It appears you have a significant tidying task ahead of you," I chuckled quietly, tucking stray wisps of hair behind my ear. "Could be worse. How does your home appear these days?" "Honestly, it's not great." With a soft sigh, he rubbed the back of his neck, a rueful smile playing on his lips. "The tree has toppled my fence and inflicted damage upon a section of the roof. I will be occupied for some time." To my own astonishment, I found myself responding without delay. "I am here to assist you." 2 pairs of hands surpass a single pair. Mark appeared momentarily surprised by my proposal, but soon a warm gratitude eased across his face. "Do you truly believe that, Diane? You have an abundance of your own chaos to contend with." I positioned my hands confidently on my hips, a playful challenge dancing in my eyes, without a doubt. "Moreover, I am indebted to you for your companionship last night." A genuine grin spread across his face, soft crinkles appearing around his blue eyes. In that instance, I humbly accept with gratitude. As we strolled side by side toward Mark's house, I couldn't help but ponder how effortlessly comfortable it was to be in his presence, even though we had only just met. In his presence, a sense of ease enveloped me, a sensation I hadn't felt in ages, rendering the task ahead less formidable. Mark's property stood in a state of disrepair. A colossal tree sprawled across his driveway, its splintered wood and gnarled branches strewn haphazardly across the yard. He surveyed his surroundings, a subtle shake of his head accompanying his unwavering optimism. It seems that Mother Nature had a different agenda for my weekend. We exchanged gentle laughter, reveling in a shared moment of delight. Before long, we immersed ourselves in the task at hand, trimming and relocating branches, clearing away debris, and ultimately forming small mounds by the curb. Time slipped away effortlessly, our dialogue unfolding with an ease that suggested a long-standing familiarity. In the quiet moments of our breaks, Mark recounted tales from his past, while I found the courage to reveal my own dreams and fears, thoughts that had remained unspoken for years. The connection that began in the soft glow of last night's candles grew ever stronger under the vast expanse of the night sky, fortified by shared understanding and a gentle trust. As we lingered in the late afternoon, resting against the porch, railing and savoring cold lemonade, Mark's expression shifted to one of contemplation, his eyes drifting toward the heavens. "Isn't it amusing?" he pondered softly. "Occasionally, the most tumultuous tempests unveil the clearest insights." I traced his gaze to the heavens, observing the pristine expanse that had been tumultuous with clouds just hours before. I found myself pondering something akin to that. I confessed quietly as I turned to meet his gaze. Perhaps at times, a touch of chaos serves to awaken our deep-seated yearning for connection. Mark turned to me, his gaze softly probing my features, as if he could perceive the unvoiced fragility I had concealed from the world for so long. "Diane, I have devoted considerable time to persuading myself that I could stand alone, without the need for anyone else. In that solitude lay a profound strength. He hesitated, his voice faltering just a bit. Yet, in your presence, I come to understand that I have been deceiving myself. My breath hitched in my throat, stirred by the gentle earnestness of his words. With deliberate care, I extended my hand, resting it softly atop his. His fingers curled gently around mine, a warmth emanating from that unassuming touch. Perhaps that storm was more essential for both of us than we realized. I whispered softly, glancing at our intertwined fingers. His voice carried a gentle, contemplative quality. Perhaps it is destiny, Diane. Life jolts us from slumber, urging us to recognize what has eluded our grasp. We lingered in silence for a heartbeat, immersing ourselves in the profoundness of the experience. The air was thick with unspoken tension, a fragile anticipation that resonated more profoundly than any utterance could convey. At last, Mark shattered the silence, his voice soft and personal. "May I have the pleasure of taking you out for dinner sometime, Diane? I would truly appreciate the opportunity to meet you once more, in a more purposeful environment." Instantly, a warmth spread through my heart, and a smile began to blossom across my face. "I would truly appreciate that, Mark." His expression lit up, a blend of relief and excitement dancing across his features. "Good," he murmured, a soft chuckle escaping his lips. "To be frank, I felt a wave of anxiety at the thought of you declining." I grasped his hand with a gentle assurance. "Absolutely not, especially considering all that we've experienced together." Thus the sun started its descent toward the horizon, enveloping Mark's yard in a warm golden light that danced softly in his eyes. A delicate warmth blossomed between us, an unexpected yet vivid bond that caught us both by surprise. Nevertheless, it resonated, with a sense of truth, undeniably genuine. As I strolled home that evening, a sense of lightness enveloped me, filled with hope. Life had astonished me in the most delightful manner, revealing how warmth, kindness, and unforeseen connections could profoundly enrich our existence, particularly in moments we least anticipated. As I settled into bed that night, my thoughts drifted to Mark, his kindness, his openness, and the authentic vulnerability he so effortlessly displayed. A considerable stretch of time had passed since I last experienced such hope for another person. Could this tempest genuinely have transformed everything? Though I lacked all the answers, an unfamiliar excitement stirred within me, urging me to seek them out for the first time in years. In the hushed stillness of my bedroom, as the gentle murmur of evening crickets floated in through the open window, I uttered a silent expression of gratitude to the tempest, to destiny, and above all, to Mark. Unbeknownst to me, the profound emotional layers of this journey were merely unfolding, and the experiences that lay ahead would transform us in ways we had yet to envision. The days that followed slipped by in a blur, with thoughts of Mark intertwining softly with each fleeting moment. A smile crept onto my face, a reflexive response to the echoes of our conversations, and the gentle comfort of his presence lingering in my mind. I had not foreseen experiencing such emotions at 47, akin to a scoundrel nervously awaiting a phone call. Yet here I found myself, my heart fluttering with each glance toward his house. At long last, the much-anticipated evening of our dinner had come. Mark proposed we visit the delightful Italian eatery nestled downtown, a quaint family-run establishment, celebrated for its warm lighting and inviting ambiance. A wave of nerves and excitement washed over me, a sensation I hadn't experienced in ages. As the evening approached, I took my time selecting an outfit, ultimately settling on a simple yet elegant blue dress that accentuated the sparkle in my eyes. I gazed at my reflection in the mirror, observing how the thrill of anticipation had gently smoothed my features, bestowing upon me a youthful radiance I had nearly forgotten. As Mark arrived to collect me, poised at my doorstep with a soft smile, I found myself momentarily breathless. He donned a sharp navy button-down shirt, the sleeves nonchalantly rolled up, paired with dark slacks that accentuated his strong, understated presence. He presented me with a solitary rose, its deep crimson hue and subtle fragrance captivating the senses. "You look beautiful, Diane," he said quietly, his warm gaze reflecting genuine sincerity. A gentle warmth crept across my cheeks as I accepted the rose, its sweet fragrance enveloping me in a delicate embrace. "Thank you, Mark. You possess quite an appealing charm yourself." In the cozy embrace of the restaurant, we nestled into a corner table, bathed in the warm glow of soft golden lights. Soft melodies floated through the air, crafting an atmosphere that beckoned for connection and closeness. The dialogue unfolded seamlessly, interspersed with bursts of laughter and instances of profound connection. Mark's eyes glimmered with a soft wit as he reminisced about his younger days, and I found myself sharing tales from my own history, astonished at how effortlessly vulnerability flowed in our conversation. As we reached the midpoint of our meal, Mark's face took on a thoughtful demeanor, a subtle pause flickering across his features. He set his fork aside with care, locking his gaze with mine in a moment of contemplative gravity. "Diane," he started with a measured tone, "there's something weighing on my heart that I must reveal to you, something that has lingered in my thoughts since the storm." I halted, my heart racing unexpectedly. "Go on," I urged softly, attempting to mask the faint anxiety that began to surface. He inhaled slowly and deeply, as though collecting his scattered thoughts. Years have passed since I last permitted myself to experience such feelings for another person. Since the passing of Lisa, my beloved wife, I have restrained my emotions. I believe that closing myself off from vulnerability was a way to shield myself from suffering. Yet, upon our encounter, I came to understand that I had been depriving myself of something truly vital. His honesty resonated within me, prompting an instinctive gesture as I reached across the table, softly laying my hand over his. "Thank you for sharing this with me, Mark. It is entirely understandable to approach life with caution after experiencing the profound loss of someone you cherish deeply. Yet, embracing vulnerability and allowing ourselves to experience profound emotions is what imbues life with significance." His eyes softened with gratitude, a wave of relief sweeping over his expression. "You are absolutely correct, Diane, and that is precisely why this evening holds such significance for me. I have decided to embrace vulnerability once more, to take the chance of experiencing something profound with you again." His words made my heart swell, a warmth blossoming within my chest. "I share your sentiments completely," I murmured, a sense of vulnerability mingling with the comfort of his presence. "I have devoted countless hours to the art of feigning that I was entirely content in my solitude. Yet, beneath the surface, a longing for genuine connection stirs within me. In the midst of that tempest, your arrival illuminated the void I had been unaware of. In that serene instant, we found a profound connection, our fingers gently entwined upon the tablecloth, relishing the warmth of our blossoming intimacy. Following our meal, we strolled leisurely through the town, bathed in the gentle light of the street lamps. The night embraced us with a refreshing coolness, as a soft breeze whispered through the rustling leaves nearby. In an instinctive motion, my hand sought out Mark's, our fingers weaving together effortlessly. It resonated deeply, uncomplicated yet imbued with significance. As we strolled by a quaint park, bathed in the gentle glow of moonlight, Mark came to a halt, turning delicately in my direction. In the hushed tranquility, he lifted his hand to tenderly sweep a lock of hair away from my face, his fingertips lingering softly against my cheek. "Diane," he murmured, his tone soft and genuine. "Encountering you has awakened in me the joy of sharing existence with another. This took me by surprise. I never imagined it could be achievable. Yet, in your presence, I find myself unwilling to release this sensation. My breath hitched, and my heartbeat raced at the genuine emotion radiating from his gaze. Nor do I, Mark. You have unlocked my heart in ways I believed were gone for eternity. With deliberate slowness, he inched nearer, hesitating just a moment, as though seeking my consent. With a sense of certainty, I raised my face, allowing our lips to meet gently. The kiss we shared was tender and reverent, imbued with a profound, hushed intensity that conveyed so much without a single word. In that fleeting instant under the luminous moon, the solitude that had characterized our recent years vanished entirely. As we separated, Mark leaned in, resting his forehead softly against mine. His eyes shut tight, as though he were relishing the profoundness of the moment. I never imagined I would experience this once more, he admitted softly. Neither do I murmured in response, my fingers gently tracing the contours of his face. I appreciate your willingness to take this opportunity. As we strolled home, fingers intertwined under the shimmering stars, a sense of transformation washed over me. Lighter, filled with hope, and profoundly awakened within, the unforeseen evening had softly opened doors within us, permitting warmth and intimacy to surge into the spaces we had long kept under careful lock and key. At my doorstep, Mark halted, his gaze shifting to meet mine, a gentle expression gracing his features. My heartfelt thanks to you, Diane, for this evening. For all things, with a gentle smile, I clasped his hand with tender affection. This evening marks the dawn of something new, Mark. I hold that conviction deeply. As he strolled back to his abode, a deep sense of gratitude enveloped my heart. Life unfolded before us, revealing surprises neither of us had ever envisioned. A sense of renewal washed over me, an emotional awakening that forged a profound connection, igniting my heart with exhilarating anticipation for what lies ahead. At that moment, I had no inkling that our adventure was merely starting, and the most significant revelation awaited us just around the corner. The ensuing weeks unfolded like a surreal tapestry, each day pulsating with a vividness that eclipsed the one before. Mark and I devoted every moment we could to one another, indulging in leisurely strolls, serene evenings, and a seamless camaraderie that I had long thought was a thing of the past. My previously isolated existence had transformed into a realm of warmth, depth, and profound satisfaction. On a bright afternoon, while we savored our coffee on the front porch, Mark turned to me with a contemplative look, his eyes soft yet earnest. It's curious, isn't it, Diane? I've been reflecting on the peculiar nature of our encounter that tempestuous evening. It seems as though destiny has chosen to intervene. With a gentle smile, I nestled against him, feeling at ease. I shared that very sentiment. Never did I anticipate that a tempest would usher in such a remarkable gift into my existence. He clasped my hand with a tender warmth. I didn't either. Years have passed since I last experienced such a profound connection with someone, and the thought of returning to anything less is unimaginable. The stillness of our contemplation was pierced by the rumble of distant thunder, a stark reminder of the night when our adventure first took flight. Clouds drifted together in the sky, their soft murmurs a calming reminder of the beauty that can emerge from disorder. As the evening wore on and the rain softly drummed against the window panes, Mark caught me off guard by revealing an old photograph from the depths of his wallet. His expression held a gentle nostalgia as he passed it to me. "This was Lisa," he murmured, his voice imbued with a soft reverence. "Every day since her passing, I have held this photo close, but tonight seems like the moment to finally release it." With meticulous attention, I scrutinized the faded photograph. Lisa was a delightful woman, her smile radiating warmth and authenticity, a soul unmistakably adored and profoundly treasured. My heart swelled with a profound sense of empathy and gratitude at Mark's candidness. She possessed an exquisite beauty, Mark. She must have held a unique place in the world. I murmured with genuine emotion. He nodded softly, his gaze contemplative. She existed. She imparted the invaluable lesson of embracing love with an open heart, free from the shackles of regret. For years, I believed I would never experience that sensation once more. Yet now, Diane, I have discovered something truly remarkable in our connection. You have resurrected my spirit. Tears clouded my sight as I delicately returned the photograph to his grasp. Mark, I cannot adequately convey the significance of your willingness to share this with me. I wish to pay tribute to your past experiences, acknowledge your losses, and hold dear the foundation we are creating together. He gazed at me with an intensity that made his eyes glimmer gently. That sentiment resonates with me, Diane. Encountering you has illuminated the boundless nature of love. Our hearts grow larger, they do not substitute. Never did I envision that I could experience such profound emotions once more. Yet here we stand, and it feels undeniably right. As we embraced, my heart swelled, cradling each other tenderly while the rain gently caressed the windows. In that fleeting moment, a serene sense of gratitude enveloped them, a collective recognition of loss, the journey of growth, and the intricate beauty of rediscovering love once more. Weeks passed, and then Mark extended an invitation for a weekend retreat to a cabin tucked away in the nearby mountains. The ambiance was idyllic, serene, and profoundly enchanting. We wandered for hours along picturesque trails, sharing laughter and engaging in profound conversations under a canopy of stars that felt astonishingly near. On our final evening, as we nestled beside the crackling fireplace, enveloped in a soft quilt, Mark turned to me, his gaze both warm and tenderly exposed. Diane, the last few months have reshaped me in ways I never imagined. Never did I imagine I would encounter a soul who comprehends me as profoundly as you do. You have rekindled the warmth within my heart and infused my existence with a joy I never imagined could be mine. Feelings surged inside me, my eyes glistening with joy. I share your sentiments completely, Mark. You have rekindled the essence of who I am. Life without you feels unimaginable now. He delved into his pocket, retrieving a delicate velvet box. My heart soared, breath hitching as a wave of anticipation surged within me. Mark's voice quivered just a bit, with authenticity shining through each utterance. Diane, fate intertwined, our paths in the most unforeseen manner, amidst a tempest, a fallen tree, and a soft rap upon your door. With every fiber of my being, I am convinced that our paths were destined to intertwine. This evening, I find myself compelled to pose a question to you. Will you take my hand in marriage? Tears cascaded down my cheeks as I nodded with fervor, a soft laugh escaping my lips, a testament to my overwhelming joy. Indeed, Mark, without a doubt, I will marry you. He slid a delicate, shimmering ring onto my finger, then enveloped me softly in his embrace. We kissed passionately, blissfully, under the soft illumination of the fire, affirming our promise to welcome the unforeseen, exquisite adventure that life had bestowed upon us. Upon our return, we joyfully relayed our delightful news to friends and neighbors. Their heartfelt congratulations resonated with the profound joy we both experienced within. Yet, in the depths of our hearts, we recognized that our genuine celebration was much more subdued, profoundly richer. A collective awareness of love forged through vulnerability, transparency, and the bravery to feel deeply. Months passed, and in a quaint, intimate ceremony held in our backyard, we exchanged vows, enveloped by the warmth of a few cherished friends, neighbors, and family. Our vows encapsulated our journey, sincere, poignant, and profoundly moving. As I stood before Mark, gazing into his eyes, I realized with certainty that this tempest, both in the skies and within our hearts, had led us precisely to this moment we were meant to share. As the evening deepened and twilight wrapped us in its gentle embrace, Mark clasped my hand with a tender touch, his smile radiating warmth. "Prepared for whatever lies ahead, Mrs. Anderson." I clasped his hand with affection, a wave of gratitude, washing over me, intertwined with a sense of hopeful anticipation. "As long as we confront it side by side, Mark, I am prepared for anything that comes our way." We gathered beneath a sky slowly adorned with stars, our hearts intertwined through vulnerability, openness, and a deep sense of respect for one another. Our journey unfolded in ways we could never have anticipated, filled with profound emotions and transformative experiences that reshaped our lives beyond our wildest dreams. As we confronted the horizon ahead, a singular truth emerged. In unison, we unearthed a profound truth: the bravery to embrace love with depth, transparency, and a mind-side absence of remorse. And that was worth every tempest we had ever encountered.